that you know, that is we had an idea, that is there are many species are there in this world, in it, and among them only human being can talk, okay, but that is another theory today, that is Dr. Arnold Gesell's developmental theory or maturation theory, and how this theory will be applying for learning or second language learning, that would be our today's concern. Dr. Arnold Gesell, that is an American psychologist, he has shown some stages of development in the video clip that we have watched. That is, we have seen that babies of 6 months will have a certain kind of development, babies of 1 year will have different kind of development, and babies of 3 years, they will have different kind of development, and even in the last stage, naturally, they will have further development. And Arnold Gesell said that every child will be developed through some stages of development, and that these curved lines are the stages of someone development: 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, and 10 years, and 11 years. Okay, so this is the stage of development. In our playroom, naturally, if there are so many kinds of toys, and if children are there, all children will not be attracted to the same kind of toys. They will be attracted to different kind of toys. Another will be one will be dealing with other child in different way, and for this reason we see in a room several child will be showing different kind of attitude or abilities. Okay, that is, and Arnold Gesell tried to observe that kind of development, okay, in his clinic. And what is the clinic? That is Dr. Arnold Gesell's clinic at Yale University. Clinic for what? Clinic for child development. He was born in 1880, and he has a PhD in psychology and went to medical school at the age of 30 to further understand psychological process. Who? That is Dr. Arnold Gesell. He is the founder of the Yale Clinic of Child Development, and in the 50 years of his time at Yale Clinic, he and his colleague developed behavioral norms for children and tests to assess their level of behavior. They will psychologically develop and physically develop, and this physical develop and the psychological developmental process is the key concern of Arnold Gesell's theory. And what is the theory? That is the theory of child development, or we can also call it the theory of maturation theory. And Gesell created a series of development tests that we have watched in that video, that is with several kinds of equipments. He had such kind of research. Who? That is Dr. Arnold Gesell. And assess the readiness of children in school. Naturally, in case of Bangladesh, we send our babies at school at 5 years of age, and for this reason we see that in many primary school, student starts their school at 5 years of age. But in terms of other school, naturally KGs and others, nursery and play, then naturally 3.5. Actually, that is the concern. Whether a 3.5 years child is ready for teaching or learning, and whether it is the age of the 5-year child is ready for learning. And actually, the chief concern of Dr. Arnold Gesell was to judge the readiness for schooling. Schooling for what? That is for child. That is whether the child is physically and mentally ready for going to school. That was Arnold Gesell's concern, and that is the term. This test were studied with colleagues at Yale Clinic of Child Development, and one of these tests was the incomplete man test. That is the name of the test. And this test was designed to investigate the maturity. They are the components. Okay, ability, what kind of ability? That is maturity, capability, maturity. That means whether the child will be mature or not to do some things. Capability like grasping, capability. So I will be standing over here and I can move my head in such a way. So a 6 months baby, whether he can move his or her eyes or not, whether a baby can grasp a thing quickly or not. We have watched that movie or video clip that some children couldn't grasp that and other could grasp that. What is the capability involved here? The capability of the muscle of these fingers. Okay, naturally there's two muscle of thumb and the forefinger. With the muscle of these two fingers, you have to grasp the child something. Okay, you can grasp it. Okay, so what is the age of a child in which they can grasp a thing with the forefinger and thumb? And we have watched that video clip that some babies couldn't and some babies could. Okay, so that was also their aspect, whether they are capable of doing any things or not. That is the children. And individually that we have seen in this picture. Actually, what is the level of their attitude? Okay, and what is the level of their understanding or responding to the thing or the person he or she is speaking to or she is exposed to. যে জিনিসের সামনে বেবিটা আছে তার প্রতি সে রিঅ্যাকশন কিভাবে দেখাচ্ছে, যে মানুষের সাথে সে কথা বলছে তার সাথে সে কি ধরনের সে ব্যবহার করছে. সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালিটি অ্যান্ড ম্যাচুরিটি and individuality among the children in 1950 decades in order to test school readiness, and the observation and the clinic report that we have watched that was held in 1947. That means in 1950 decades. And these are the terms relating to Gesell's maturation theory. First one is the maturation. Maturation, what type of maturation? A process of child's development is directed by, in this regard, why it is called maturation theory. Actually, child is developed physically and mentally, and it is scientifically true. Okay, anybody can't deny this. So what is the thing you can put your investigation in case of child developments and also the physical development? Okay, there is nothing. That means physical development will occur in due course. Dr. Arnold Gesell says that we develop. That means child develops with following two core points. What are the core points? That means child development happens by and directed by, first one is genes. Gene means naturally the course or cell for the development. What is the contribution? So when a child can grasp a thing, that is the contribution of gene. Okay. What would be the function when a child can look and move his or her eyes here and there towards a colorful thing? And for this reason it is advised that children are supposed to expose to the colorful toys. সাদা এরকম না, কালার, লাল, কালো, লাল, এসব এক্সপোজার করে. সো সেই কেন একটা বাচ্চা একটা কালারফুল জিনিসের দিকে তাকায়, কালারফুল জিনিসটা যখন মুভ করা হয় তখন সে কেন চোখ এরকম করে মুভ করে? হোয়াট ইজ দ্য কন্ট্রিবিউশন অফ ডুইং দ্যাট? দ্যাট ইজ দ্য মাসল. That is the muscle. That means the eye tissue, that when the tissue will have the function of the gene relating to our eye, when that would be able, then the child can do so. Okay, so every activities, physical activities and mental activities a child will do. Dr. Arnold Gesell says that only the contribution, whose contribution is that? It is the contribution of gene. So there is nothing new in this year. Yeah, but another thing that is the important thing is that is genes in a fixed sequence. Sequence means chronologically, okay, in a fixed sequence. What you will observe that a 1 year baby can do, that thing cannot be done by 6 months baby, and vice versa. Okay, a 8 years baby can do some things, and 6 months baby will not be individual. Okay, 1 year baby will not show its individuality. However, 8 years baby can show it. So the characteristics of a 8 years old baby cannot be shown in case of 1 year's baby. That is the result of Dr. Arnold Gesell's observation or research. What is the research? That is, the development of a child will done following a sequence, following a stage, following a chronology. So this chronological or stage-based development and sequence-based development is called the maturation theory of Dr. Arnold Gesell. There are 2 points. One point is that child develops following a stage or following a chronology. Another point for the contribution of gene. These are the 2 components of Gesell maturation theory. And also second one is the readiness, the ability to learn abstract things. Abstract things, abstract noun. What is abstract noun and what is concrete noun? Noun is basically of 2 kinds. That is concrete noun, that is it is a duster, it's a table. These are the concrete noun that we can see and touch. But there are one kind of noun that is we can't see, we can't touch. That are called abstract noun. We can see, just like cry, just like kindness, just like afraid. So Dr. Arnold Gesell's question that when a child will understand the abstract ideas, okay, that is the readiness. So the readiness to comprehend, to learn the abstractly, and to comprehend the purpose of one's work before mastering the learning or the task. And what is the reason? What is the goal of doing a task? Okay, so abstract idea, in which stage they will be learning that abstract idea, and what is the purpose of that child's action. Just like that, a baby had been sitting before a glass, before a mirror, but the baby, what the baby had been doing, the baby was looking towards the mirror. The baby couldn't understand that it is his own image. He couldn't understand that because in that stage the child didn't develop its idea, that is, this is his image. Okay, so second one is readiness, and then individuality, the type of behavior a child will show. The child has a sense of oneself, okay, that is individuality, everything. Okay, so some children will try to if you give them some toys, the child try to keep it as it their own. Okay, they will not give it to others. That means they try to own it. সেটা তারা নিজের মতো করে নিতে চায়. So that individual traits will be developed in a certain stage. That was the another components of this maturation theory prescribed by Dr. Arnold Gesell. And maturity we have also said, that is behavioral traits exhibited during a child development and capacity. Behavioral traits of adapting and learning from a child's social environment. Okay, capacity. Okay, the social environment, observing the activities and the interaction in a society, child will be learning something, and that kind of development and capacity will be developed in case of a child. Okay, and this maturation theory actually states that language is, and what is the relation of SLA, that means second language acquisition, and the maturation theory. That is that language is a production of brain structure and function. So every action, speaking is action, isn't it? Previously we have got 2 conditions of Gesell's theory. One condition, every development will done for the contribution of gene, and second one is that would be done chronologically, following a sequence. Okay, then speaking, reading, it is action, Okay, so this is also, this capability and ability will also be dealt with gene number one. So the product, language is a product of brain structure. Here, brain structure. Have you seen the brain of human being? How can I say that? See that, sir? Actually, we have seen the image. In the image, the brain will have two parts. In maximum cases, this is called left hemisphere. A পৃথিবীর যেমন গোলার্ধ আছে দুইটা, সেরকম আমাদের ব্রেনেরও দুইটা গোলার্ধ আছে. Okay, so left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Okay, according to maturation theory, language learning is a production of our brain. So when a child's brain will be ready for learning a language, that is the concern of maturation theory to language learning or second language acquisition. So language learning is affected by genetic and environmental influences. Okay, but in case of Gesell, he has dealt more with the genetic influences. Environmental influences less. In case of social theory, we will be understanding the environmental influences. Okay, so the relation between Gesell's maturation theory and language learning is that language learning is also functioned by the contribution of gene, that is the human brain. Okay, when the signal will come, when the muscle of our brain, when the muscle of our eye will be able to create something or to perform something, then language learning will be happen. So language learning is a product of our brain and which play a primary role in supporting language acquisition. Okay, 6 মাসের বাচ্চা কথা বলতে পারে না, কিন্তু 2 বছরের বাচ্চা কেন কথা বলতে পারে? That gene is not developed. A 6 years baby's gene and the brain is not ready to learn the language, and the brain becomes ready at the age of 1.5 years or 2 years, and within the 3 years most babies can learn because their language the brain is ready for learning the language. And this research, that is the maturation theory, influenced what we know about developmental milestone. And the key principles of maturation theory, children develop through similar and predictable sequences. Okay, another thing, okay, we have learned that this is the contribution of gene and that is done chronologically. And again he said that the development, that means the child development, it might be American child, it may be Bangladeshi child, it may be Indian child, it may be Chinese child. The child development will be predictable. Predictable means উনি গবেষণা করে দেখেছেন যে 3 বছরের বাচ্চা can he grabs a thing with his forefinger and thumb, এই তর্জনী এবং বৃদ্ধাঙ্গুল দিয়ে 3 বছরের বাচ্চা কি কোনো কিছু ধরতে পারে? 1 বছরের বাচ্চা কি ধরতে পারে? যদি 1 বছরের বাচ্চা 2 বছরের বাচ্চা যদি ধরতে পারে, তাহলে এটা আমরা প্রেডিক্ট করতে পারবো যে a child of China, a child of America, a child of Bangladesh and a child of the globe can grasp a thing with the help of their forefinger and thumb and in 2 years of age. That means it is similar and predictable. Predictable means we can say that this child, 2 years old child can do so. Okay, but we can predict that 2 বছরের বাচ্চা পড়তে শিখবে. Okay, so ভাষা শিখবে. So that is predictable sequence. However, Gesell noticed that they did so at their own pace. Okay, they did so at their own pace. Naturally, yeah, some parents will push, you have to do this, you have to do this. And nursery boys and girls, kids play nursery boys and girls. যদি তাদেরকে দিয়ে বলা হয় যে তুমি এটা করবা, এসে লিখবা, সেন্টেন্স লিখবা, কথা বলবা সব সময়, because he is not ready. Actually, that is the concern. That is, Gesell noticed that they did so. That means children develop through following a same page and in their own way, pushing, encouragement, stimulus, that it happened in the behaviorist theory. Anything will not be occurred over here in case of Gesell's theory. কাউকে আমরা হাততালি দিলাম, বাচ্চা একটা গ্লাস ভাঙলো, বললাম যে হ্যাঁ ভেরি গুড, আরেকটা টিভি ভাঙলো, ভেরি গুড, তার ডেভেলপমেন্ট হয়ে যাবে। Gesell didn't say that. Gesell said that yes, that would be child will develop through a strong on phase gradually and in their own phase একটা বাচ্চা স্বাভাবিকভাবে এটা কি হবে following a stage বড় okay and on phase and suggested this development starts to occur before a child's birth and sometimes he said that such kind of development starts occurring at birth actually of course okay so every human being starts their the combination of gene from the womb isn't it মাতৃগর্ভ থেকেই তো তাদের সেই ডেভেলপমেন্টটা শুরু হয় so he also predict that such kind of ability will be occurring from birth okay and that is Gesell's circle of development are divided in 6 well defined stages okay and which are repeated through their life repeated through a smooth development breakup sorting out inwardizing expansion means expansion একটা জায়গায় আমরা দেখছিলাম একটা বেবিকে 6টা বর্গাকার কি দেওয়া হয়েছিল শেপ দেওয়া হয়েছিল একটা শেপে in one shape we have seen that it was done in just like a triangle একটা ত্রিভুজ মতো করে দেওয়া ছিল first the child make a triangle watching the previous one that is his inwardizing that means watching a new thing he can say or he can do the same abilities inwardizing inward okay and next time what he did a new thing যেটা সে আগে কখনো দেখেনি সে একটা কি একটা she make a একটা লম্বা একটা জিনিস তৈরি করলো সেটা কি expansion getting something inwardizing and next time expanded to a new shape that was that he didn't see আগে সে তো দেখে নাই সে ত্রিভুজ দেখেছে ত্রিভুজ বানালোই না শুধু না ত্রিভুজ বানালো মানে কি সেটা সে ইনওয়ার্ড করলো সেটা সে শিখলো এবং এটা থেকে আবার নতুন একটা জিনিস দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড এক্সপানশন and neurotic fitting together mentally to some fit together what have to do that means at the some stage that is we have seen that যেটা আমরা দেখি নাই একটা ভিডিও ক্লিপে দরজা বন্ধ কিন্তু জানলাটা খোলা ছিল ওকে সো দ্য বেবি জাম্প থ্রু দ্য উইন্ডো and get out of the room through the window so that is his neurotic development or mental development that what should be done at that stage ki korte hobe tar sei following circumstances that stages will be followed in case of Arnold Gesell's maturation theory from his founding Gesell concluded that mental and physical development in infants mental and physical development in infants children adolescent are comparable and parallel orderly process so adolescent কৈশোরটা কি ইনফ্যান্ট কি সো শুধু এটা বলে না এটা গবেষণা করে উনি বলেছেন যে ইনফ্যান্ট চিলড্রেন ইনফ্যান্ট মানে হচ্ছে একদম বাচ্চা চিলড্রেন মানে শিশু আর অ্যাডোলেসেন্ট হলো টিনেজ যেটাকে বলা যেতে পারে বয়ঃসন্ধিকাল মানে 18 এর আগে 18 এর ম্যাচিউর so in this development what kind of development physical and mental development of a child of an infant and of an adolescent will be following a orderly process means with a sequence 12 বছরের বাচ্চার ক্ষেত্রে যেটা হবে সেটা 12 বছরের বাচ্চারই হবে ওকে এবং 16 বছরে যেটা হবে সেটা 16 বছরেই হবে orderly process and the result of this research were utilized in creating the Gesell's development schedule which can be used with children between 4 weeks to 6 years of age. What are the 6 perspectives of the development? We have considered 6 major perspectives on the development: psychodynamics, behavioral, cognitive, humanistic, contextual and evolutionary. Okay, so this will be the development. Psychodynamics that means with the mental ability will be combined with the physical activities. Okay, that means when a child will try to catch that but it cannot catch it. Okay. Behavioral, that means some child will start crying to watch other child. অন্যকে দেখে হয়তো কেউ হয়তো চিল্লাচিল্লি করছে, কেউ তাকে ধরতে চাচ্ছে, কেউ তাকে করতে যাচ্ছে, খেলনা দিতে যাচ্ছে. So this is the behavior, cognitive understanding, humanistic. কোনো বাচ্চা কাছে পড়ে গিয়ে সে বেবি যে সেখানে তার মাথায় হাত দিয়ে দিচ্ছে. Okay, that is the humanistic attitude. Contextual, কি করতে হবে? Contextual, that means as I have said, দরজা বন্ধ জানলা খোলা, সে এই কনটেক্সটে বের হয়ে যেতে হলে কি করতে হবে? সে সেখানে এবং লিফটের মধ্যে আটকা পড়ছে, কি করতে হবে? সে ওখানে জানে যে ওখানে বেলে প্রেস করতে হবে. সেই কনটেক্সটে কি করতে হবে সেই ডেভেলপমেন্টও তার হবে. অ্যান্ড ইভ্যালুয়েশনারি মানে একটা ডিফারেন্ট থিং, একটা জিনিস দেখে নতুন কোনো কিছু সে তৈরি করবে, ভাববে এবং কাজ করবে. দিস আর দ্য অ্যাবিলিটিস. So a principle suggests that children achieve this individuality by becoming progressively differentiated from their fellows with every new maturational change and accompanying environmental experiences. Okay, so that is the individuality. Individuality will be occurred to a child following or observing the surrounding around him or her. চারিপাশের পরিবেশ দেখেই বাচ্চার মধ্যে সেই ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালিটিটা গ্রো করে. বাট ইট ইজ অলসো ওয়ান কাইন্ড অফ ম্যাচুরেশন থিওরি, whether the child is mature or not, individually mature or not. Okay, and the best example of maturation theory, a child acquires the ability to ride a bicycle as it learns strength, balance and coordination. কারা কারা বাইসাইকেল চালাতে জানেন? এখানে পারেন অনেকে, হ্যাঁ. আর যারা হাত তোলেননি সবাই পারে, যারা হাত তোলেননি তারা পারেন না. তার মানে কি তাদের স্ট্রেংথ নাই? আছে. তার মানে কিন্তু এখানে স্ট্রেংথ আছে. স্ট্রেংথের সাথে শুধু স্ট্রেংথ থাকলেই হবে না, সেটা কি লাগবে? ব্যালেন্স লাগবে এবং কোঅর্ডিনেশন লাগবে. সো ম্যাচুরেশন থিওরির ক্ষেত্রে দ্যাট উড বি আ কম্বিনেশন উইথ দ্য ফিজিক্যাল ডেভেলপমেন্ট টু দ্য মেন্টাল অ্যাবিলিটি, অ্যান্ড হোয়েন ইট উড বি ডান the maturation will occur in case of child development. So characteristics of maturation, sum of gene effect. So what we do, what we behave, what we effect, all are the activities of the summation of the effect done by gene. Maturation is the net sum of gene effects operating in a self-limiting life circle. Automatic process, predictable process, growth and development, completion of growth, modification from within. Modification from within, that means observing a new thing, observing a thing, and after observing a thing, he or she will try to modify this in a different way, in a different shape. Modifying from within. Condition of learning, factors of maturation and essential for learning is school. Okay, so there are four kinds of maturity. Physical maturity, that we know. When I say the physical maturity, I am not referring to the normal aging process of our body, but the fact that one day we realize that if our physical health is not in top shape, nothing else is worth much in life. So physical ability will be there. And then mental ability. Okay, so whether you can understand a thing or not, কোনো একটা কিছু সহ্য করার জন্য আপনার মানসিক সেই অ্যাবিলিটিটা তৈরি হচ্ছে কিনা. ইমোশনাল মিন্স অ্যাজ ইউ সি দ্য সাম চাইল্ড উইল শো ইমোশন. আমরা কোনো জায়গায় খারাপ সিন দেখলে তো বড় মানুষেরা কেঁদে দেয়, হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু বাচ্চারা তো কাঁদে না, যদি মানে ওই স্টেজে তার ইমোশনাল অ্যাবিলিটিটা গ্রো করে নাই. ওকে, সো যে স্টেজে এবিলিটি গ্রো করে না সেই সময় বাচ্চা সামনে যাই কিছু দেখ না সে হচ্ছে কান্নাকাটি করবে না. হ্যাঁ, সো ইমোশনাল অ্যান্ড স্পিরিচুয়াল অ্যাবিলিটি, দ্যাট ইজ অ্যাবিলিটি টু দ্য রিলিজিয়াস পার্সপেক্টিভস. সো that is Gesell's maturation theory. The child's growth or development, it is influenced by two major factors, that is first gene and second one the sequence, following a sequence. Okay, and that is Arnold Gesell, that we have seen the observation in the video clip that Arnold Gesell has been observing in his Yale clinic. Okay, and that is Arnold Gesell's theory of maturation. So these are the key components of Arnold Gesell's maturation theory. Okay, and there are some strength, that means the advantage of maturation theory, that Gesell's maturation theory focused on the physical and mental development for children. That is the growth, good side that we can't deny. That for doing a thing, a child should develop physically and mentally, and that is obvious. And for the development of physique and body, mental mind, the child can perform a thing. He suggested that children will go through the same stages of development in the same sequence, and each child will go through the stages at their own rate, own pace. Okay, and there are some criticism, of course, against this maturation theory. Okay, that is, modern critics of Gesell point out that he put too much emphasis on the maturation and not enough on environmental factors such as learning. Okay, previously we have seen that actually he said that what is the relation between language learning and maturation theory. He said that language is also a product of brain. Okay, and brain structure and function. So what is there in our brain? In our brain we have gene, isn't it? So the language learning is also the contribution of gene, and also he said about the function of the brain and affected by the genetic and the environmental influence. Criticized that actually he put mass emphasis for the contribution of gene. He didn't put mass emphasis for the environmental influences. Environmental influences, that means the social influences, the familial influences. That is the criticism against Arnold Gesell's maturation theory. Okay, that is the criticism. And all criticism also includes that his development states imply too much uniformity, as if all children go through the stages at the same age. Okay, and that is another criticism. He said that yes, that is predictable. What will happen in a 3 years old child, what would be happen in a 5 years old child, that is confirmed. He said that it is unique. Okay, but there is no guarantee that actually it would be happen exactly in the 3 years of age. It would be happen exactly in the 4 years of age. Okay, that is the unique suggestion is one kind of criticism, that it is all okay, but the states show that the development theory, that is, you will be following exactly the same scenario. Okay, that exactly the 2 years, exactly the 3 years. That is also the criticism of Arnold Gesell's maturation theory. Okay, and so we can conclude in such a way, that is, Arnold Gesell's maturation theory is for physical and mental development of a child. Especially he started his research for the readiness of school-going children, and after observing the several stages of development, Dr. Arnold Gesell said that child develops physically and mentally for the contribution of two things. Number one, the gene, and second one, the environment. But their developmental stage is predictable. They will follow a chronology, they will follow a sequence, they will follow a serial. That means what would be happening for 1 year's age child, what would be happening of 5 years age child. There are some strength of this maturation theory that is very much scientific. That means that is the function of human brain and the mental ability, and also that ability is individuality, capability, emotional ability, mental ability, spiritual ability will be there, and all kinds of ability will be observed sequentially. Okay, that was his concern for Gesell's theory in maturation theory. Okay.